my gosh. No, okay. All right, wow. Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for watching. And today's topic is about perspectives and the prediction of what is to come. So recently, I don't know who you follow or who you listen to, but if you listen to anyone that talks about energy updates or they talk about the astrological movements such as the full moon, the new moon, the Mercury in retrograde, all of those other astrological things that could affect how we are, if you listen to them, they will tell you because there is a full moon, expect X, Y, and Z. Because Mercury is coming in retrograde, expect X, Y, and Z. Now, although I love reading these things, listening to these people talk about what to expect, I don't try to take them as my truth. The reason being is that if I'm at a peaceful, calmful state in my life and I hear that a full moon is coming, then I may get worked up out of nowhere just because someone told me that a full moon is coming and that this full moon will make you have or experience really intense emotions. Or Mercury is coming and Mercury is going to be in retrograde on March 16th, so expect these really intense emotions. Try not to talk to people from your past. Isolate yourself if you have to. Take the time to do a lot of self-care. Now, if I were to take that as my truth before the event were to happen, then I am predicting and I am expecting these emotions to happen. So if I'm expecting these emotions to happen, then I'm going to be creating these emotions for myself, regardless of the fact that Mercury is in retrograde or that it's a full moon or a new moon. Whatever the astrological reasoning is, or just because of the energetic collective energy that's going on, if I were to take that as my truth, then I'm just creating that. I'm adding to the fire. I'm adding fuel to the fire. Now, a lot of people look towards these people and towards these things, and I'm not saying that they are wrong. I'm not saying that they're right either, but it's their perspective on what is to come. They can only tell you one of the infinite amount of perspectives that could happen to you. We are all living very, very different lives. And if they feel that this is going to happen, then they are producing that for themselves. Now, if I take that from them, then I'm also producing it for myself because I'm taking that to be true. And a lot of people look towards this because they want that sense of comfort. They want to know, one, what's going to happen. A lot of people look towards the future wanting to know what's going to happen. Okay, how am I going to feel next week? How should I prepare myself? Should I walk around and make sure that I make eye contact with nobody? Because I can be set off or I can set them off. Mercury's in retrograde, I gotta be careful. The full moon is out. It's intense emotions. I gotta isolate myself. Now, if you live by this, that's awesome. That's fine. You take into that account. But you're limiting yourself because you're not opening up the fact that anything can happen to you, regardless of what is going on. We get attached to what somebody else says that we produce it for ourselves, and we don't realize that we are producing it for ourselves. We just think that this is what we're supposed to be feeling. They said that I'm going to feel anxious this week, and I'm feeling anxious, so nothing's wrong. Well, you have a choice. You always have a choice how you want to feel. So if you want to feel anxious this week because there's a new moon out or there's, Mercury is in retrograde, then by all means feel anxious this week. But if you don't, then choose not to. Choose to react differently. You have that opening. If you limit yourself by what someone else says, then you will feel those feelings and you will be giving back your power to feel how you want to feel. Nobody can tell you how you are going to feel. Every single individual lives by a different perspective, lives by a different way of living. So yes, you can relate to a multitude of people. And you guys, your soul tribe, you're connected in that way. You can relate to them, but you don't have to feel what they are feeling. If 5 out of 10 of your friends are feeling anxious this week, you don't have to be the 6th one to feel anxious. You can be one of the other half that feels bliss and joy this week. So you don't have to go by what everybody else is saying. If someone is telling you, predicting to you that this year is going to be a really rough year for you, expect a lot of your fears to come to the surface. And, the election's coming up, so a lot of bad energy is going to be out there. And, X, Y, blah, all these other emotions that are going to happen, and you sit there and you're like, oh my gosh, no, okay, all right, wow. Yes, okay, so I should prepare myself to feel all this fear. I should prepare myself to be anxious. I should prepare myself to worry. So what do you start doing? You start preparing yourself to feel something that you're not feeling? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. All right? If you are living a peaceful, blissful moment, don't allow the words of someone else and the perspective of someone else to influence you, to influence your future, to influence what to expect. Now, I look to these people all the time. It's an interest of mine to hear what they have to say about what is going on collectively as an energy, what to expect for the full moon, what to expect for Mercury being in retrograde. I love it. I absolutely do. I turn towards them and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But I leave an opening. I leave an opening for myself to feel whatever I'm bound to feel. Now, say for example that I'm already feeling anxious this week. I'm already feeling some kind of, I'm all over the place. I'm just not feeling comfortable within. So if I'm already feeling that, sometimes I turn towards them if I haven't already listened to them, just to feel that sense of comfort, just to feel like I'm not alone for feeling this way. Because if it feels like it's something that's not personal in my life, and maybe it's just the energy that's in the air, there has to be anxious people around me because I'm just feeding off the energy. If that's how it's going, then I look towards them because I'm like, well, maybe that is what's going on. And at the same time, I'm creating them to give me that perspective in a way. Because they can say only one sentence saying, oh, the energy's off this week. And I'm like, oh, thank God it's not just me. I am not alone. And I look towards that as that, empathy. I want to know that I'm not crazy. It's the same reason that people vent to other people. When people vent to other people and they have these, unnerving feelings and these thoughts, these continuous thoughts that are just bulldozing their mind, and they have to vent to somebody. When they vent, what they're looking for is not just to get it out, but they're looking for somebody to tell them that they're not crazy for feeling this way. Please tell me that I'm not crazy for feeling this way, that I'm not alone, that you felt this way before, you understand how I'm feeling, and I'm not in the wrong for feeling this way. That's what they want when they vent. It's the same process. It's the same method. It's that people look towards, in the spiritual community, people look towards other spiritual people, such as people that read into energy, psychics, anybody that can tell them that they're not alone for feeling this way and that it's not them. But at the same time, we have to take in our own accountability. If we're feeling anxious this week because there's a full moon, then we have to be accountable for that. We can't just blame the moon. He did it. It's not me. I didn't go off on you because it was my own feelings. I went off on you because Mercury is in retrograde. You have to hold yourself accountable. Even if you're feeling those feelings, even if someone tells you that you're going to be angry this week because Mercury's in retrograde, wasn't me. I'm just, that Mercury, it's in retrograde again, so it wasn't my fault that I went off on you. So sorry, so sorry, when you're really not. So take in accountability, leave open a portal. You can listen to however many people you want to listen to, but everything is perspective based. So if you want to listen to your own perspective, you leave an opening to feel what you want to feel, to live how you want to live, to hold yourself accountable and be responsible and be authentic and be real. No matter what someone else says. No one can tell you how to feel. No one can hold themselves accountable for how you feel. You have to do that on your own. So no matter what is going on in the world, you are the one that creates your own future, your own energetic, vibrational feelings for the next moment, for tomorrow, for the rest of this week. You are the one that is being held responsible for that. Nobody else. No full moon, no Mercury in retrograde, no new moon, no Jupiter twirling. None of it is responsible for how you feel. It can affect your mood. Don't get me wrong. It has the power, and this is what I believe, whether you believe it or not is up to you, but I believe it has the power to affect your mood, yes. But then you have to hold yourself accountable for how you react to that mood. That's where accountability will come in. That's where your perspective and the way you want to live your life will seep through. Take accountability for yourself, for your beautiful, amazing perspective, because everyone has a different perspective, and I believe it is so beautiful. Love it. And remember to leave an opening to feel how you want to feel. If you end up feeling the way they tell you, that's awesome. If you don't, that's awesome. Be an open, transparent being. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, I think over here. Last video over there. Thank you. Sending you love, light, and happiness. Hopefully I'll see you next week.